Here's just a beautiful story. One thing we hear a lot about sport not being there, right? And how great it is to have football. Well, there's a lot of people don't watch football, don't like sport. There's just as many people that miss the human contact of a concert. Whether that be that you want to go, I'm not going to be sort of a reverse snob here, whether it's going to the theatre, like Miserable or whatever, or whether it's going to a dirty gig in a basement for £3. We really miss it. And there's a band that have put a gig on in their hometown that is really, really special. And I'm not surprised at all that this band did this because I idolise them. I've danced on stage with them as a bear. Wayne Coyne has for years and years rolled over the top of his fans pre-COVID in a big Zorb ball. They do the most outlandish things. And I'm not surprised that they've had a spark that made just the most beautiful moment, which you can watch on the BBC website. But any chance I get to play you a little montage of Flaming Lips tracks, I'm going to take it.
I know a girl who thinks a ghost. She'll make you breakfast. She'll make you toast. But she don't use butter, and she don't use cheese, she don't use jelly or any of these. She uses Vaseline. Theirs is to win if it kills them. They're just humans with wives and children. Instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you realize that life goes fast. It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning round. With all your power, with all your power, with all your power, what would you do?
So the Flaming Lips put on 2 socially distanced gigs, but they actually did create a live experience. So the band and their audience, right, with only a maximum of 3 people inside each, were all in giant inflatable bubbles. Now, speaking to the BBC, the band's lead singer, absolute legend, Wayne Coyne, said the fans were so happy, of course, to be involved.
I think we're quite lucky that, the fans of the Flaming Lips kind of like this, not challenge, but kind of the adventurer of the whole thing. It's not just another concert. You're part of this thing and it's never been done before. And, they're quite up for it being different and being crazy. And they do really take care of each other. And that's the part, I don't want people to forget that. We're all kind of in this together. And so them being aware that we're all helping each other, I think that really makes a lot of difference,
I'm delighted we can go inside one of those inflatable bubbles, so to speak, because Cale, his wife Stephanie, and their son Cash, brilliant name for a kid, going to be really successful with that name, were at the show on Saturday night. So I think Cale and Cash are going to talk to us. Hi, Cale.
Hi there. How are
Hey,
you?
hi, Cash.
Hi,
How old are you, Cash?
I'm 8 years old.
Oh, my goodness me. I was listening to the Flaming Lips when you were minus 14. Cale, you're the perfect age to be a Flaming Lips fan, and of course they're from your home state as well. Just take me through the experience, because I want everyone listening to get a virtual buzz off your evening.
Oh, it was such a wonderful experience. Actually, we're in Indianapolis, so we drove to Oklahoma. It's an 11-hour drive, just about.
11 or 10.
Yeah.
And,
It's like 10 and a half hours.
Yeah, you keep him right, Cash. If he makes any mistakes, you correct them. All right?
Yeah. And we just decided, what the heck, we needed a concert. We haven't been, and this was right up our alley. It was just crazy enough for the Gregoires to go. And and Cash he's a big Flaming Lips fan. He's how many Flaming Lips concerts have you been to, Cash?
Like about 4 or 5.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
about 4 or 5. So he's really into it, and just the whole idea of being in a space bubble just was so unique. And I mean, what a great adventure for sure.
I've so many.
The whole thing
I'm
was just like it was just planned out so perfectly and just so unique.
It's the human connection that we get. I'm just done a second part interview with Billy Bragg that's running tomorrow night. We were talking about the what music does. It emotes. It allows us to experience grief and joy and happiness and sadness and anger and sympathy and empathy and all of those things. And that the live experience is so special. Question, Cash, you've seen them 4 times. Did it feel like a proper gig? Did you feel like was it as magical as the other times?
What I think is it was kind of actually a little bit more magical.
Oh, why was it more magical, Cash?
Well,
I suppose because it was like so different, right?
yep.
It was like I mean, it was just so like sci-fi almost, you know. It was just out of this world, just crazy. I mean, where were we sitting, Cash? Or where were we standing in our bubble?
Well, we were in front row. But the one
yes.
thing is, we were in bubble number 2 in front row.
Yeah.
That's so good. Is it true that you can hold up Cash like a thing if you needed to go to the toilet and they would come and get you out of your bubble?
Yeah, what did that sign say, Cash?
Well, there was 2 sides of the sign. It said, it's hot in here, so then they would get out like a leaf blower thingy and put air in there.
And then what was on the other side?
The other side said, I have to pee, and like no one really used it. Like I think my dad said he only saw one person hold it up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, everybody was just so into it. I don't think anybody stepped out.
They didn't want to miss anything.
Didn't want to miss anything. It was just so wild. And the band sounded great, and they seemed like genuinely just excited to be on stage in front of an audience and put on a show. It was just unreal.
I'm just not surprised it was the Flaming Lips who did this. You know, they have so often put on shows that have just blown my mind.
Yes.
And the other thing about the Flaming Lips is they can go from the outlandish and the, you know, the big statement to the most fragile moment. They can perform a song with a glove puppet and it can be a very emotional experience. They go from maximalist to minimalist very quickly. Was it I'd imagine, Cale, given that you're going to that gig in the shadow of such crisis at the moment on a health front in the United States, the rollout of the vaccine, you know, we hopefully the next 100 days we'll see a big improvement, and everyone's been through the mill so much. It must have been quite emotional at times knowing what the Flaming Lips are like, Cale.
It was, I mean, it was an emotional roller coaster for a show. It was just so exciting, but then you could see all the people so excited and just really craving just people to be around, and just some one of a kind excitement. It was great, and it was really good for our family. You know, make some great memories out of all this madness going on lately, of something just totally off the wall to do.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I will be talking on this show, and I mean, Cash, you and I are thousands and thousands of miles away right now connecting, and I think what will happen in the next few weeks, I'll be saying on this show, news in tonight that Muse, or you know, news in tonight that the Rolling Stones, or news in tonight that Elbow are going to do the same thing here, because I think it's such a good idea, and I think bands miss it, I think fans miss it. I think it's going to happen again. Cash, was it the best gig you've ever been to?
Well, yes.
And it was inside a bubble. And it was inside a bubble. Wow. Who else have you seen, Cash? Because when I was 8, I'd only seen a band called Duran Duran, and believe me, that's not one of my best memories. So what other gigs have you been to? Concerts?
Well, I can't really name them all.
Oh, we saw Mumford and Sons.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
I've seen them play in a back
Elephant.
bar. I've seen them play in a tiny bar in East London. Yeah, who else?
Cage
um,
the elephant.
Cage the Elephant. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Beck. We've seen Beck.
Yes.
yes,
Shoot.
yeah.
We've.
Cash, you do realise that you've got very cool parents.
What do you think about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is true.
It's not many kids admit that. Well, listen, thank you for sharing it with us because I think it's really, really important to do that. Obviously, so often the bad news leads, and I think these moments are really, really important. Cash, you're an absolute dream to chat to, and Cale, loved your wife Stephanie as well. To your mum, Cash, thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us what we'll call a soft bulletin in our news tonight.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Take care. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Cash. Yes, love it. Just so you know, we were talking about the Flaming Lips doing a gig, and they're from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and they did a gig where they just had loads of these inflatable see-through orbs, and all the fans were in there, and they got the proper live gig experience. Absolutely adore that.